Boker Tov. Today's daf is daf Kuf Hey and Baba Kamas. We learned for Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael Sumat Rav Shapiro. We're a little bit below the halfway point on Kuf Hey and Aleph. The beginning of the line it says V'Amar Rava. Rava is listing a bunch of issues where you talk about like a half a shiur, and he's raising a bunch of questions. So in a similar vein, he says the following: Amar Rava Harei Nazir Shagilach. We've learned before in Nazir, a Nazir when he finishes his Nazirus, his Naziriteship, after the minimal amount of 30 days or whatever he had specified, after that time, he must shave his entire body, go to the mikveh, bring karbonos before he's able to drink wine and attend funerals again. So let's say a Nazir who had shaved this shagilach, he had shaved his entire body, b'shayir shtei shoros, but he left 2 hairs, loss of klum. 2 hairs is considered as if it's not fully shaven. Okay, boy, Rabba. Now Rabba asked this question: Gilach achas v'nashus. Let's say of the 2 remaining ones, he shaved one and one just fell off by itself. Mao, has he fulfilled his obligation? Amalei Rab acha meidiftel ervina. Those are shagilach achas. Can we boil the Rabba? What is he asking? If you can cut off one at a time? He had 2 there. One he cut off. He did the proper thing, and before he got to the last one, it fell off by itself. So what was wrong with that? He had done all that he could. Amalei lo tzricha. That's not the case. He had 2 remaining hairs which he had not shaved, and before he got a chance to shave them, one fell off. So he first had an obligation to cut off 2 hairs. One fell off by itself, and then he shaved the last one off. Do you say, well, he's fulfilled his obligation because there's nothing left to shave except for one? So there's no shiur, and therefore it's as if he's fully shaved, meaning he had shaved his whole body except for his head, and there was 2 hairs remaining. Then one fell off. Okay, so there's only one remaining. That's not a shiur. So it's as if he's shaved completely. Odilma halav giluchu. It's not a proper shaving. To mikara hashayir shteish, because he had 2 hairs to cut off. He had an obligation to shave those 2 off. When we shaved off, there's no 2 saras. So therefore, he didn't fulfill that obligation. He had obligation to cut off 2 hairs, and he wasn't able to because one fell off before. So Harapashta, then after Rav raised the question, he decided the question, Seir Ein Kan, Giluch Ein Kan, the same lashon that we had yesterday by Hashava, when he had less than a pruta to return. So we said there's no mitzvah to return, there's no gzela, but he hasn't really fulfilled his obligation. Here too, Seir Ein Kan, Giluch Ein Kan. There's no hair, therefore there's no shaving. If Seir kept there's no hair, then Giluch Eshkan, then he has shaved off. She shaved off all that he could. So even though there's no hair left, because there's only 1 hair left, he had 2 hairs there. One fell off by itself, and there's only one to shave off. Mitzvah Giluch Eshkan, but he hasn't performed the mitzvah of Giluch. And Tosfos has 2 interpretations. One is that if you hold, you're not allowed to. The Nazir is not allowed to resume drinking wine and attending funerals unless he's fulfilled all his obligations, including the shaving and the sacrifices, etc. Then he's not able to resume normal life, meaning attending funerals and drinking wine, because he hasn't fulfilled the obligation of Giluch. If you need all 3, meaning he had obligation to shave off the last 2 hairs. He wasn't able to do so because one fell off first. So since he didn't fulfill the obligation, he must wait now, presumably, until more hairs grow on, and then he shaves again. Until then, he can't. Inami Rashi, the other pshat in Tosfos is that goes according to everybody, even those who say that you don't have to do everything in order to resume drinking the wine. As long as you bring karbonos, let's say that's good enough. One of the karbonos, even if you didn't shave, it's okay. So according to him, simply you didn't fulfill the mitzvah of giluch. So the same way, that's the lashon of seir and kan, giluch and kan. There's no hair to cut off, but he also has not fulfilled the obligation to cut off both hairs. Not his fault, but he hasn't done the mitzvah of giluch. Yom another thing that Rav said in a similar vein. Harei Amru Chavas, if you have an earthenware vessel. Now, an earthenware vessel which is totally sealed prevents anything inside from becoming tamei, even if it's in a room with a dead body. The earthenware vessel which is sealed on the top does not allow anything inside, protects anything inside the vessel to become tamei. Rashi learns as a case where the vessel is actually acting as a stopgap between one floor and another floor. Tosfos is very simple. Simply is protecting it from any tumah in the room. Let's say that earthenware vessel got punctured. puncture. Now, a puncture that's good enough to be considered a puncture that allows the tumor to come in is a puncture that would allow liquid to come in. As if you have a very tiny, tiny puncture, liquid won't come in. But if it's big enough, the liquid can come in, that's considered a puncture. So let's say you had an earthenware vessel that was punctured, the satmua shmarim, and the sediments in the wine sealed the hole by itself. Itzlua, that saves the vessel. In other words, it saves the tumah from entering the vessel because it's stopped up. Boy, Rava, agav chasyama. What happens if you sealed yourself? You sealed half the hole. Again, this idea of half, you did partial, the same thing we had before with returning the item that was less than shava pruta, or this case of the hairs. It's all we're dealing with like a chatzi shiur. So, boy, Rav Agav Chatzi, what happens if you sealed half of now? Amalei Rav Yevel Rav Ashi, Lav Mishnah saying, isn't this what we learned on our mission? Our mission says, Chavish Shenik, you have a barrel. Same idea, barrel or vessel, earthenware vessel that was sealed. Shenikva, that was punctured, Besatmu Shmarim, and was sealed by the sediments. Isilua. That's good enough. It saved it, and it saves the tumor will not enter it. Pakakok was mura. If you sealed it with a vine, you took a little piece of wood like a chip, and you put that into the hole, it's not considered a sealant until you line the edges with, let's say, cement. Let's say you had two vines sealing the hole. You have to seal it with. You have to cement it both on the sides of and also between the two vines has to be with a proper seal. Time of the marach. The reason why it's considered a good seal is because you smeared it. You smeared cement there. Hello, marach. But if you didn't smear with cement, it doesn't work. Amai. Why? If sealing half of it, meaning if the hole is only big enough to allow water in when it's a complete hole, when it's a complete puncture, but if you sealed half, water won't come in anymore. So isn't that good enough or not? That was his question: is sealing it good enough or not? And the Chari Yisifim over here says, no, that's only if you smeared it. If you put vines in the hole and you smeared it with cement. Mashma, if you didn't see it with cement, it's not good. Why not? Why isn't it at least good putting a couple of vines in there? Is as good at least as sealing it halfway. Elamai must be sealing halfway. It's no good. I mean, no. Achiyashka, you can't compare. Hasami lo marach lo koi. There, when you put vines into a hole to stop up the hole, if you don't put cement in there, they won't stay. They'll just fall. They'll fall right back out. Agav chatzi, but if you seal half of it with a proper sealant, like with cement, the midi decoy with something that lasts, that will last. So that doesn't prove you can't prove it from there. So he asked this question: if you seal it with half, you didn't really prove the question at all. If you seal it halfway, would that be considered a sealant? Another question that he comes into Rava that gets back into our issue of swearing falsely, denying an obligation, and then admitting it afterwards, where we talked about your chayiv, the keren, the chomesh, and a carbon. Remember, we said in the Mishnah back on Zaf Tzadik Vav, Gazel Chometz Rav Pesach. Let's say you stole a loaf of bread before Pesach. Now after Pesach, it's worthless, right? After Pesach, if it's intact, you haven't done anything, you haven't changed it in any form, it still's intact. All right, you can return it. You can return it as is. It's a hezek shein, or what we call hezek shein nikar, and you can return it as is. That's what we said in the Mishnah. Boy, Rav raises this question. Now here it gets into the real nitty gritty. Nishba love. Let's say you swore you have this loaf of bread in your possession, and he says, "Where's my loaf of bread?" You could just return it to him right now, and he won't be able to eat it, but you can return it to him. You're yotzei. Let's say you swore you denied it. You denied that you have his loaf of bread. Now, what's the halacha there? And then you admit it afterwards. Yeah, I do have the loaf of bread. Are you chayiv, keren, chomesh, and a carbon? Nishbalav mao.
There's no keren.
Oh, there's no keren. You might say it's not worth it. That's how you look at it. Me, I'm reading. Oh, so that's.
It goes by what it was before.
So that's the question. That's the question. Me, I'm reading. Here are the two sides of the coin. Me, I'm reading. Do you say kivin migda boy mamona? Let's say this loaf of bread, which is really not worth anything right now. But let's say it's known that I stole the loaf of bread. There's witnesses that I stole the loaf of bread, let's say. Let's say the loaf of bread now is stolen from me. Stolen from me, I don't have it. What do I have to do? I got to pay him the 10 shekels that it was worth, right? Me and Marina, do you say, since if it was stolen from me, I would have to give him money for it now. So I'm denying money. I owe you 10 shekels. If I can't produce the bread, I'd owe you 10 shekels, right? Rav right now is here right now. The offer balm is simply dirt. It's worthless. I'm not denying money. In other words, when are you chayiv keren b'chomish v'asham? When you swore, you denied an obligation. He says you stole it, you took it, you lost it. I gave it to you as a deposit, and you kept it. When you deny the obligation, there's a monetary obligation. You deny it, you swear falsely, and then you admit it. Now, if you don't admit it, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Adam, come along. What's the deal? But if you admit it, then you're chayiv keren b'chomish v'asham. So over here, did I deny an obligation or not? The thing is, right here, right now, it's worthless. I didn't deny any money. I could just give it to the guy. It's worthless. I'm not denying real money because it's not worth anything anyway. It's here right now. Or do you say, no? Since if it was stolen from me, I'd have to pay the 10 shekels because I don't have it to return right now. Maybe it is denying money. So Milsa de Boile Rava, this question that Rava had as a question that he threw out as a question, Shita Rava, his Rebbe, Rabba Bar Nachmani, the Rebbe of Rava, he had an answer for it. I don't know why Rava didn't accept Rava's answer, but apparently he didn't. Or Rava had already determined it once before. What's the case? Amar Rava, listen to this case again. Shori ganafta, you stole my shore. Omer lo ganafta, I didn't steal it. Mati v'tzacha, I heard you have it in your possession. I heard it's in you. You have it in your stable somewhere. Mati, what's it doing here? So he said, Shamachinam ani alav. No, I was just giving it to be a Shamachinam. And I swear to that effect. So he swears to that effect. Now, it's here right now. We'll see. Shamachinam ani alav, chayiv. And he swore to that effect, right? Shamachinam swore to effect. And then he was moda. He really did take it, right? He's chayiv to pay. He's chayiv. What do you mean chayiv? He's chayiv keren shvua, keren chomish and asham. Chayiv. Sure. Why? Did he deny money? He didn't deny money. He said, "Yeah, I have it." He said, "You stole my shore." He says, "Yeah, I have it." But I'm a shomer for it. I took it as a shomer. So what's he denying over here? He is denying. Why? Because when he swore falsely and said, "I'm a shomer," that means that, let's say, subsequently somebody would steal it from him. Is a shomer chayiv on genev and aveda? No. So he's saving him by lying about it. If he stole it, I stole it, you're obligated to give it back right now. You don't have it right now. You have it in Nebraska. You have it over there or somewhere else. It's your responsibility. You're chayiv and everything. You stole it. You're obligated to, even for accidents, whatever. By saying I'm a shomer chinam and swearing to that effect, I pater myself from genev and aveda and onsen, etc. So over here, that's what happened over here. You stole my shore. He admits that he has the shore, but he swears that he was a shamachinam. I didn't steal it. You gave it to me to watch, and I swear to that effect. Then he admits afterwards that he really did steal it. He's chayiv keren chomish v'asham. Why? Because had it been stolen, he wouldn't have had to pay for it if he was by lying that he was a shamachinam, and if he hadn't admitted it, he would be potter from Geneva Veda. So he saved himself money there. So he is denying money. He is right. He's denying that he owes that money. Shomer Sacher. Let's say he said, "Oh, you have my shore," and he says, "Yeah, I have it, but I'm a Shomer Sacher. You hired me." Also, and he swore to that effect, and then he admitted afterwards he's also chayv. Why? By saying a Shomer Sacher is chayv on Geneva Veda, but he's potter on onsen, like shvur it broke or it died. Right, Mesa Kedarka, if he dies like he just died of his own, he's potter on that. So again, he denied money, right? He denied that he owes the money. He's denying that he owes money. So that's a shvua that's making him deny money. He's not denying it right now. He's saying, I have the animal. They have the animal. It's over there in Nebraska somewhere. I don't have it with me right now, as we'll see, but I have it somewhere. I'm denying that why? What is he? He's not denying that he has the animal. But by saying he's a shomer sacher, if between now and the time that he would go to return the animal as a shomer sacher, it would be an accident would befall it, he would have saved himself money. So he's saving money there. Similarly, he says, Sholin love, I borrowed it from you. So what is he protecting himself? And he swears to that effect. He's also chayv shrei potter atzmi misa machlus halacha. The only thing that a shoel is potter on is if it dies while he did the work. I borrowed your car and it died right away. Well, what do you think I borrowed it? To leave it in the garage? I borrowed it to use. I borrowed the animal to use. I didn't borrow it to lock it up in the barn, right? So your pot, so pat himself there. Alma, So what do you see? Even though it's here right now, the item that was denied, kivdi mignav, if it would have been stolen, the Monica kafir, he is denying money. In the case of Shemachim, he's denying everything. Ganei ben Aved, etc., etc. Hashanami Monica kafir, he's also denying money. So that's what you see over here, and that's why you say he's chayiv again, where he admits that he has the animal, but he says, I didn't get it under circumstances where I stole it. I was a Shemachinim or a Shemasachar or a Shoel. You say over there, and then he admits afterwards he's chayiv. So he did deny money, even though he's not denying that the animal's here right now. But he's denying that if he, by his argument, by swearing that he's a shomer to one of these degrees, he effectively absolved himself of responsibility. So he is denying money. Hachanami in the case here also with the bread. Avagav the Afra, even though this chametz after Pesach is worth nothing, it's just us. Keeping the mignav, since if it would be stolen, boishlim, you'd have to pay for it. A monamalya, it's money. You'd have to pay boishlim money. You'd have to pay good money, 10 shekels. You'd have to pay for the loaf of bread. Hashnami malika kafir. Therefore, it's also he's denying money. So therefore, he stole a loaf of bread after Pesach. He could return it, but if he didn't return it, the guy says, "Where's my bread?" And I said, "I swear I didn't take anything. I don't have your bread. I don't have your bread." He could return it right now. It's worth nothing. But since it was stolen from him, he'd have to pay. If he doesn't have that bread, he'd have to pay back the 10 shekels. Therefore, it is considered a case of where he's chayiv for he swore falsely and admitted. You have to pay Karen B'chomesh and bring it out. Yosef Rabba was sitting become Lashmite and repeated over this thing that he just said. That if it would be lost, if it would be stolen from him, he would be responsible for money. Therefore, he's denying money. Rav Amram asked the following question. In the pasuk it says there, if you deny it, that excludes a case where you're moda in the fundamental item itself. If you're moda, if you're moda, like over here, what happened in this case? He was moda that he had the animal, right? He was moda that he had the animal. So you shouldn't have to, the whole parsha shouldn't apply. This whole parsha V'kicha should not apply. Ketza, Shori Ganafta gives example, similar case, right? Shori Ganafta, you stole my animal. V'omer lo Ganafta, I didn't steal it. So Mata says, why do you have it? He says, Ata machartali, oh, you sold it to me. Ata nasat matani, you gave it to me as a gift. Avicha machali, your father sold it to me. Or Avicha nasat matani, your father gave it to me as a gift. Acha parosirats, he followed my animal into the barn. What do you mean? What do I have your animal for? The animals all look alike, right? He followed my animal to the barn. I didn't steal it. Or Me'elabots, they came by himself. Toa b'derech matzah, I found it wandering on the road, and I brought it in for protection. Or Shomachina Le'alav, or like we had before. I was a Shomachinim, I didn't steal it. Shomasachar Le'alav, Shalom Le'alav, Benishman, he swore, Baho, then he was Moda. Again, in all those cases, he swore to those effects, and then he was Moda. Yochli Chayivam, I think you'd be Chayiv, like Rabbah said before, Talmud V'kicheshbaf, he denied it. Here he's Moda. He's Moda that I have your animal. He says, you stole my animal, I have your animal. But I have it because it wandered into my rishus. You gave it to me, your father gave it to me. I was a shemachina. So here you see you're not chayiv. So what's going on over here? Rabbah said before that you are chayiv. You are chayiv for asham zelus. You're chayiv asham zelus, where you deny it, then you swore falsely, then you admit it. You're chayiv, and here he says you're not chayiv because you admitted that you do have the animal. Amalei. So Rabbah answered Rav Amram, or Rava answered Rav Amram. The question. Rav Amram said the Shmaita. Rabbah said the Shmaita, or Rabbah said the Shmaita, and Rav Amram asked the kasha to Rabbah, who was a Talmud of Rabbah. He asked me in this case, Amalei Tadura, you're mixed up. Rashi says, Ein Lev, you're mixed up, you're foolish. Kitanya Hahi, that Bryce was talking about the Kamalei Halach. There, in that case, he says, take it. What's the whole issue we're saying over here? You come and say, I stole your animal. I say, yeah, I have your animal. I have your animal. It's in Nebraska. I have it. But, you gave it to me. I'm a shomer. I'm this, that, all those excuses. And I swear to that effect. I swear falsely. And since my swearing falsely would absolve me of some responsibility if it's stolen right now or if something happened to it, therefore I'm denying money. In this last case where he says, no, there's no such thing as Shamtiel's here, it's where he says, I have your animal here, take it. So he's not denying, and he's not, there's no issue of, since if it would be stolen, I would get off, so I'm denying money. No, here's take your animal. You're asking me, you say I have your animal, I stole your animal. I didn't steal it. You gave it to me to watch. I run him to take it right now. So he's not denying to say, he's not saving any money. He's not denying money potential money because it could be stolen. He's giving it to him back right now.
He's not swearing.
Even if he swears, even if he were to swear, but he's not denying money. You understand? Because he's saying, here it is, take it. You gave it to me. Even if he swears, take it. He swore over there. He says, Sholin, he loves Shvanishba Bahoda. He swore to that effect, and then he was Moda. He do his Moda. He says, Gitanya he says, take it. I swear I didn't steal it. It wandered into my territory. You gave it to me. Your father gave it to me. I was a Shamachinim. I swear to that effect. Here, take your animal. So he's not denying any money, right? He's not denying. What's the case of Hashem Zeus where I denied that I owe you money? Then I admitted that I swore falsely that I don't owe you money. And then our issue was, I have the item right here, right? I have the item right here, but I'm not giving it back right now. And since my argument, when I swore to the fact that I'm a shomer or whatever it is, I could be saving myself money if something happened to it. That's like a denial of money. That's his point. I would save myself money by swearing I'm a shomachinam. What happens what happens if I didn't get a chance to return it to you? I admit that I have your animal, but I'm a shomachinam, and I swear to that effect. Now, before I get a chance to return it, because it's in Nebraska, I got to schlep it over here. Before I got a chance to return it, it was stolen. So I've saved money by saying I'm a shomachinam. Now I admit that I'm a liar. Okay, now Sham sales applies, but I have to swear that I'm denying money, right? I'm denying money. I swear that I don't owe you money.
Potential gain is gain.
Yeah, that's the potential. The potential gain, the potential savings that I'm denying is money, right? So he says, what about that case you say over there that's not a case? That's different because I'm returning it right away. Tadura, you're mixed up. When I'm talking about where I say that I money, the kaima b'agam, the animal's not here. It's in Nebraska. Agam's like it's in a swamp in a meadow somewhere, whatever. It's not here right now. Okay, so now the Gemara just says, well, what's this case? I understand. He says, in these cases, you're motivated that you have the animal. Wait a minute, motivated the animal. If I say you sold it to me, I'm not motivated that I have your animal. You came and you said I stole your animal. There's one thing I understand. I'm a shomer. You gave it to me to watch. Okay, I understand there that I'm lying and trying to get off. But if I say you sold it to me, I'm not admitting that it's your animal. Why am I motivated that it's yours? He admits that I didn't pay for it. He sold it to me, but I never paid for it. So it's really your animal. I never paid for it. Take your animal, Brazil, and go. When he says you gave it to me or your father gave it to me, so why is it that's not motive? He's not motive that it's your animal. You come and say I stole your animal. I say your father gave it to me. So I'm not motive that it's yours. So what kind of motive is there? My motive the Omerlay says your father gave it to me on the condition that I'm going to do him a favor, but I never really did the favor. So take your animal back. In other words, he's motive that it's his animal. When he says, I found the animal wandering on the road, I found him. Lema, he should have said, why didn't you return it to If you found my animal wandering on the road and you took it in, why didn't you return it to me? Remember, Shvi tells him this Shvua. Aveda must say, found it. I didn't know it was yours. I found this animal walking. I didn't know it was your animal. I didn't know to return it to you. That's what he said. But he's moda that it's yours. It's yours. Take it back right now. So here in this case, he's not denying any money because he's saying you're accusing me of taking your animal, of arbitrarily misappropriating your animal, and I'm returning it right now. So there's nothing to discuss. I'm returning it. So even if I lied initially, you understand? I lied initially, but I'm giving it back to you right now. I lied initially. I swore that that I bought it, that you gave it to me and sold it to me, and then I'm giving it back to you right now. Then there's no I'm giving it back to you. So in that case, he's returning it immediately, and therefore there's no idea that I saved money by lying about this. I'm not saving money because I swore to that effect, and then I was moda. So he said, take it, and therefore it's not the same kind of a case. Rashi says, but like he says, take it, ilu migna da kameko. It's right here, and he's taking it right now. So you can't say if it would be stolen, he's getting off of it right. Apparently, he was moda very soon afterwards. He first swore falsely, and then he was moda right away. Because if there was a time in between that he swore falsely, then he could be trying to get off by saying I'm a shamachinam or whatever. Now the Gemara goes through another thing. Tanya ben Azai. Pardon?
He swore.
Yeah.
He still has to bring an ashram.
So we said he has to bring an ashram only if he's denying money. But over here, he's not denying money because he's giving it back to him right away.
Okay, but actually, it comes because of the shvuah, not
because of the shvuah denying money. Kichesh, he denied the money, denied that he owed him money. And if it's here right now, the animal's here right now, right in front of us, right in front of us. The animal's here. I swear you. No, I was a shomer chinam for this. You gave it to me or whatever like that. The animal's right here, and he's not. If the animal is right here right now, and he's saying, "Okay, take it. Okay, take it." In that case, there's no denying of the money. Tanya, Amr ben Azai, Gimel Shvuah saying. Now, in the beginning, we're talking about a Shvuah of Hasham Zelos, where you deny the money, you have to pay, and then you admit you pay the 125%, and then you bring a carbon. There's other Shvuahs at the beginning in Vayikra Hey that talk about, we call carbon olav yoreh, that you bring a carbon, you bring a chatas. If you're wealthy, you can bring an animal. If you're less wealthy, bring birds. If you're very poor, you bring a flower offering, a mincha. And one of them is a shvuah seidus, when you deny that you know testimony. You know testimony to help somebody, and you deny, you swore falsely about that. So now Tanya Raza Gimel Shvuah saying there are three shvuahs that pertain to denying, listen carefully, denying testimony about a lost item. In other words, I say, I think you saw my item was lost over there, and you know testimony about it, and you swear falsely that you didn't know testimony about it. Later on, you admit it, but first you swear falsely about it, or it was found out that you did know. Tanya, Amr ben Azai, Gimel Shvuah saying, he swears, I don't know who took it, I don't know anything about your lost item. Then afterwards, he admits that he knew the item was a lost item, but he didn't know who the finder was. He couldn't come and say, listen, this guy found your item and try to return it to you. We're talking about giving testimony, a single aid, not two aid, one aid. Now, one aid says, he says, look, I know your item was, he says, I don't know who took your item. I didn't see anything. I don't know nothing. Then afterwards, he admits that he knew the item was lost, but he didn't know who found it. Or b'motza v'lo ba, or he knew somebody found an item, but he didn't know what item it was. Or lo ba v'lo matzah, he didn't know the item and he didn't know who found it. All those are three cases. When he admits it, then he's chayiv to bring a carbon olav yoreh. So more lo ba v'lo matzah kushtishtav. What do you mean? If afterwards it turns out that he didn't know who took it? In the first two cases, he either knew who took it or he knew what the item was. In the last case, he didn't know either one. So what's he motive to? V'lo matzah kush. He told the truth. He told the truth. He doesn't know anything about the lost item. Ema ba'u matzah. The third case is he knew the item and he knew who found it and he denied it. Then he has to bring carbon over the earth. The Mayochasa. Now, what is he telling these three halachas in terms of what halacha? Ravami Omar Rav Amar Rav Chanina liftor, to say your potter, meaning since he's only one aid, even though he denied the testimony, you bring a carbon, but one aid couldn't be mechayiv anyway. In other words, had he told the truth, he says, Yankel over there found your item. Had he told the truth, could he have forced Yankel to pay? He's only one aid. One aid can't be mechayiv money, can be mechayiv a shvuah, can't be mechayiv that. So he says, "Potter u'shmuel melchil." He says, no. One guy would be mechayiv. Even one person, if he swore falsely about knowing testimony, it's good. It would be mechayiv. Would have to be mechayiv to bring the carbon. What's the machlos? The Tanya mashbia aid echad. If a person makes one aid swear, there's one aid that he denies, then he knows testimony, and you make him swear, Potter. Rabbi Lazar Shimon Mechayev says, "No, you are chayev." In other words, if he swore falsely, even though he's only one aid, is he potter or is he chayev for this carbon shvuah for swearing falsely, carbon olav yoreh for carbon shvuah? But Ma'akim, what's machlokas marsav v'davar since if he had testified the truth about the finder and saying this guy lost them, I know this guy found the item. He couldn't have been mechayiv money because he's only one aid. One aid can't be mechayiv money, but the guy might not have. He could mechayiv shvuah, and rather than making shvuah, maybe he would have paid. Maybe the finder would have admitted. So that's gar of the moment. It causes a loss of money. It's not a direct cause, but since it might cause it might cause the finder to lose the money. So maybe that aid does have some effect. So can cause him like money. Since he can't be mechayiv money directly, if one person says that I owe you $1,000, it's meaningless. If two people say I owe $1,000, I got to pay. So since if one aid would say you found his item and you should have returned it, he could have been mechayiv, and he might not have sworn. The one person could have sworn, no, I never took that item. He can mechayiv mishvur, but he can't mechayiv money. So that's a garmal moment, because the guy, the finder, instead of swearing falsely, might admit it to it. So that's a garmal moment. So that can cause a loss of money on his part. So is that kamam and dummy? That's the one that says you're chayiv. In other words, if the one aide who knew testimony about the finder lied, is he chayiv a carbon? The carbon of the ord based on that or not? That's a machlokas over here. Is davar garmal moment, because that one aide couldn't have been mechayiv the other guy money because he's only one aide, but he might have caused him to pay the money because maybe the guy didn't want to make a shvua. Let's say somebody says, I gave you $1,000 to watch for me, and where is it? He says, I deny the whole thing. Even if he didn't swear yet, he's a gazlan, v'chayiv ba'onsin. In other words, a gazlan is chayiv. If a guy steals something, he's chayiv on everything until he returns it. As soon as he denies it, even with no shvua, even if he didn't make a shvua, he's chayiv. That's Rav Sheshes' point. But Tanatun, he is a raya from this brisa. Because he's bekichesh, but he denies it. But lamadnu onish. What's the onish? That he's now responsible. He's fully responsible to pay back 125%, etc. And bring a carbon if he admits it afterwards. So give lamadnu onish asarman. How do I know that you? How do you know where's the law? Don't lie about it. Don't deny what you owe. My love, la onish, mammon. Aren't we talking about the punishment of money just by denying it? Right? Just by denying it, you're considered a gazlan. This is low, the onish shvua. We're talking about the onish of that you're chayiv for the shvua, for swearing falsely, then you're chayiv the asham gzelos. But without swearing, you're not chayiv. So it's no proof. No proof to Rav Sheshes from there, because the kichish could be talking about when you swore. Rav Sheshes' point is that if you deny an outstanding deposit, you're a gazlan at that point in time, and you're chayiv for all onsim. Since the Sefer says the shtab that he swore, mechal the reishal shtaba, mashma that the reish is where he didn't swear. Why? The Sefer said v'nishbal sheker, and he swore falsly. Lamadu onish, the onish for swearing falsely, that you're chayiv a carbon, etc. 125%. Sorry, asarman. Where's the law? Where does it say don't lie? Don't swear, don't lie. Since the Sefer speaking where he swore, Reisha Delo Shabbos Mashma, the Reisha speaking where he didn't swear, and still you say that he's considered that he's chayav, that he has full responsibility. No, Idividi Dishtaba, both the Reisha and the Sefer speaking where he swore. Kan Shahoda, Kan Shabo Adam. After he swore falsely, was he Moda, or did the Adam come against him? If he was Kan Shabo Adam, Kan Shabo Adam. Also Adam, Adam come chayav ba'onsin. He's chayav ba'onsin because he's a gazlan. But if he's Modo's own, Chai became a Chomish Vashim. He's Modo's own. He's Chai, like you said, Ashim Zeus. He's Chai 125%, and he's Chai to bring in an Ashim. But the Reish and the Sefer could both be talking about where he swore. Still, Rav Sheshes maintains his point that if you deny alone, even if you didn't swear falsely, you're a gazlan at that point in time, and you're Chai for all responsibility. The rule is Torah, you're only Chai to swear that you don't owe money. Right? Motive mixus, I swear that I don't owe the money. I swear that I'm absolved. You don't swear to collect money, right? There are exceptions in different cases. For example, let's say we said like workers, where the balabais has to pay 1,000 different workers. He may forget who he paid or not. So in a case like that, the worker can make a shvur to collect. But those are shvuas rabbanan. So one of them is shvur. Let's say the person who's supposed to make a shvur d'oraisa that he doesn't owe the money, he's suspected of lying because he's lied before. He's the one that's a person who swears to collect money, or the guy who's supposed to deny the other party, his litigant who says, I don't owe you the money, is a known liar. Okay, then this one person could swear to collect. Okay, so Echad Shvuah Seidus, whether he swore Shvuah Seidus, he was found to be a liar about that, Echad Shvuah Sekadon, or he swore that he denied a outstanding deposit. Rafil Shvuah Shav, even where there's no money involved, he just swore. What's a Shvuah Shav? I swear that this is made out of gold, right? Something that obviously everybody says it's not, right? He's just swearing some. That's also a lie that once that person is a known liar because he swears falsely, he's chashad al shvuah. If you say that just denying money makes you a liar, a gazlan, so b'kfiru the ifsalei, as soon as you denied it, what do you have to talk about cases where you swore falsely? As soon as you deny something, you're a gazlan and you're puzzle. Amri says, over there speaking with the Koi Bagam. You didn't swear falsely about something which is here in front of us, right? But it's not here right now, rather. It's not here. It's like, again, it's in the meadow. It's in the swamp. The look clear. It's not considered really a denial. The suburb, when I deny something that I don't have right here, I have to go get it from Nebraska. So I might say the suburb, I'll push him off. I'll delay him. Until I go, I'll bring it. Right, so that could be, that's not really a denial. A denial is where the item's right here, I have it in my possession, and I deny that. That Rav Sheshes will maintain makes me a liar immediately, even without a shvuah. Teda, how do you know there's such a difference? Let's say you come and you say, Ephraim, I lent you $1,000 last week. Where's the money? Now I spent the money, right? I don't have it right now. So I say, no, I don't owe you any money. Why? Because I know I got to go get the money and I have to go collect it and retrieve it. So I'm not considered a liar there. But I didn't swear. Bo Adam came and said, that I did borrow the money from you, ladies. The milvalot son. I don't have it right now. So I push him up. I deny it simply because I'm trying to get out of it, because I have to collect the money. You know what always happens? You borrowed money and now you don't have it when the guy comes to collect it. So you say, I didn't really borrow the money. I don't really mean to lie. I'm really just trying to push you off until I'm able to gather the money together. But the pekadon at the top of the page of Kufav, if I deny a deposit, plus latest, because I shouldn't have spent that, right? That's speaking where the Adam come and say that at the time that I denied it, I had the money in my possession. It was in my safe. So if I deny that, then I'm a liar right away. So what do you see? There's a difference if the item is here or not here. If it's milvavs alone, where I don't have the money right now because I spent it, so I'm not a liar for denying that. Same thing, if I deny something, it's not here right now. So I'm just saying I'm pushing you off until I get a chance to pick it up. So but if I deny something, it's here right now, then I am a liar right away, even without a shvuah according to Sheshes. I've Omer Ilfa shvuah kona. Didn't Ilfa say that shvuah itself makes you kona? And we assume here that means that as soon as I swear about it, if I swear about it, then I'm chayv onsen, right? Mishra shenish b'l shakar come. It's mashma there. Shvuah hudakon. Only if I made a shvuah, I will kfir low, but just denying it, that doesn't make me acquire that I'm responsible. So no, so hachanayim the kaimagam. There also he's speaking about where it's not here right now. When does a shvuah make you a liar and not a simple denier? When I don't have the item in front of me. When the item is in Nebraska, then I'm just pushing off. Then denying it does not make me a liar. But if the item is here and I deny it even without a shvuah, Rav Sheshes maintains a liar. Anybody saying more? I can tell you that this Ilfa said that shvuah is kona. Here's my shvuah kona. Karafun Rav. This gets us into tomorrow's topic, which is this. The Amar Rav, Karafuna, the Amar Rafuna Marav, Monali Biyadcha. Listen to this. Reuben says to Shimon, you have my money. You have $100 of mine. I don't have your money at all. Benishman, I swore, and you accept my shvuah. And then Adam came and say that I owe you the money. Potter, I don't have to pay the money. If the owner accepts my shvuah, we'll see in Bezdin, I don't have to pay anymore. Kivin shekibla balim shvuah shuv ein misham doesn't pay money. In other words, this idea that shvuah is kona has nothing to do with if I deny the money, then I'm responsible for it. If I made a shvuah, then I acquire it. But rather, if I make a shvuah that I don't owe you the money, even if Adam come afterwards, I don't owe you the money. Now this is a strange thing. This is going to be disputed on tomorrow's daf. This is what Fun Rab says apparently, that if I swear I don't owe you the money and you accepted my shvuah, even if Adam come afterwards, I don't have to pay. This is a extremely strange halacha. That's going to be disputed on tomorrow's Gemara. We'll pick it up from here tomorrow, Gufa, at that point. Have a good day, everybody.
Good day. Beautiful.